All right, everybody, here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino, and we have to talk. So much stuff going on right now. Just post-market yesterday and pre-market today. So sit down, get comfortable on this lovely Tuesday, November 16, 2021. I almost don't know where to start, and I am not kidding. So like I said, just give me a moment to gather myself together. Let's start off with the markets, okay? It's just so I get my bearings straight here. So right now, stock futures are flat, relatively flat, pointing towards a flat open for the market, at least right now. Trading doesn't start for about 30 minutes. All right. What else is going on? 10-year yield nudging higher, dollar slightly stronger, MMRI higher. Okay, so what does that mean? Again, risk in this market is rising, but let's look a little deeper into that. Being that risk in this market is rising, okay, does that mean that you and I are going to start dumping stocks, closing our positions? No, it does not mean that at all. What it does mean is we're just going to remain aware of the situation, keep our eye on changing dynamics in this market, which really do change almost on a minute-to-minute basis. Okay, we got all that. And it just means when risk is rising in the market, it means we should consider hedging ourselves possibly a little bit more. If you've been with me for any length of time, you're already hedged. If you're one of my lions, you got this covered, and you really don't care what happens with the market. It's the truth. The only people out here that are in a lot of trouble are those that are stuck in an investment plan that only makes money when the stock market goes higher. You understand? It's designed to work that way. Speaking of that, who is the major winner? When the stock market melts down, and it will, and it has, repeatedly over and over and over, it's a cycle, okay? Bubbles rise and they burst and they rise and they burst. These bubbles are engineered by the central banks to transfer wealth. That's all they do. It's a wealth transfer mechanism over and over again. Well, very interesting news we got here, and this is, I don't know if it's going to surprise you at all. You probably would have expected this. But with regard to year-end bonuses for the Wall Street bankers, overall, their bonuses are expected to be higher by 30%. 30%. I want you to think about that. I always told you the major banks, look, they got this covered. It's a crime in progress. You know that. And they just don't lose. And they will not lose in this environment when they are all being supported by their central bank, which they actually do run. So how can they possibly lose? So yes, bankers right now are doing phenomenal with an average bonus year-over-year gain of 30%. It's pretty astonishing to me. But again, no surprise. No surprise. This is how it works here. Everyone else gets crushed while the rich continue to get richer. How many times have I said that to you? The well-off and the rich, they're loving this. This is the golden age. It's the golden age of trading, the golden age of investing right now. And this is why, the Wall Street banks are killing it, and they're going to continue to kill it. And, all the bigwigs over there are going to, be laughing their way to the bank as people are struggling on a massive scale here. We'll cover more of that in a minute. Let's go back to the market. So like I said, stock futures flat, 10-year yield higher, dollar higher, MMRI higher, risk in the market is higher. Cryptocurrencies are under pressure right now. Imagine Greg Mannarino surprised. No. Down across the board, Bitcoin around 60,000. Okay, this space is extremely volatile. Don't get rattled. If you're one of my crypto lions out here, just laugh. Just laugh at all this and laugh at the naysayers, which you've been doing for years, okay? Continue to laugh in their freaking face, all right? You and me, some of you out here did get in here and buy Bitcoin around 3,000 when I first recommended it, and we added to our positions accordingly, moving forward with regard to cryptocurrencies, and we've destroyed it. We've destroyed it. And people are going to continue to miss the boat, and it's very sad. I don't want them to miss the boat, but they do it to themselves over and over again. Okay, let's move forward here. You got gold and silver catching a bid right now, despite the fact that the dollar is stronger. What is going on here, people, is historic. We are witnessing history. So again, take this all in and understand what you're seeing. Crude oil back over $81 a barrel. Forget about it. It's going much, much higher, much higher. I don't care. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, after the market, I was watching, I think it was Bloomberg, and they were parading out some freaks talking about how, oh, you know, this is the top for crude oil. It's going lower. You know, we've heard this before with regard to tops in crude oil by, you know, Jim Cramer, a very well-known guy. I told you it was a joke and he was going to be wrong. Well, I guess he was wrong in a huge way. He will continue to be wrong, you see, because I have kind of lost, in fact, all of my respect for Jim Cramer. I think he's nothing but a talking head, a puppet, and he's another one who's told what to say, and it's dog shit as far as I'm concerned. If you can't sit out here and tell people the truth and tell people the way it really is, you're going to prostitute yourself or whatever they're paying that man or anyone else on the mainstream financial channels, then you're worthless. They're all freaking worthless people. Anyway, let us move forward here. What else did we find out? So on top of this, okay, we understand Wall Street bankers, you know, their bonuses are off the Richter scale, surging. Rents continue to surge at their fastest pace in history. On the back of that, we found this out. Household debt, I'm reading this. This is what's actually going on. Household debt surges higher, driven by, this is from the Federal Reserve's report, by the way. Household debt surges higher, driven by credit extensions, people asking to, you know, for more credit, and credit card balances, which continue to explode. On the back of that, people, we find out, you know, this is so sick, honestly. People continue to borrow beyond their eyeballs just to make ends meet. I want you to keep that in mind. So, retail sales today apparently came in better than expected. People are borrowing, again, beyond their eyeballs to try to... I told you this would happen. This is what gets under my skin. I explained to you a long time ago that people who consider themselves in the middle class are going to try to maintain that status by borrowing. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're borrowing, and then borrowing some more to try to maintain a middle class status. They're going to fall into the lower rung. This is what they're setting themselves up to fail. Okay? You can't borrow your way into prosperity. You know, it's an insane asylum. And people are, again, doing this to themselves. They're struggling, and what they're doing is they're reacting. They're reacting in a very not logical way. Again, they're borrowing just to make ends meet. And some of these people are out there borrowing just to maintain their status or their image of being a middle class person. And henceforth, why you're seeing a little bump here with regard to retail sales. Anyway, look, I'll tell you something else about retail sales. We are in the middle of a paradigm shift, a new creation of this two-tier society, and a whole change in demographics. So the well-off and the rich, oh sure, they're buying big-ticket items. They're buying things like this, you know, they're going out of style right now. So of course, maybe you would see this as well, but you're not allowed to know this stuff. You know, you're supposed to think that everybody is prosperous. We're all rich. You remember we heard that from the last president. No, it didn't work out too well. Anyway, let me move forward here, people. I got so much stuff I want to talk about, but I never have time to do it. You know, how about this one here? How about farmland? You know, this is the last thing I want to talk about here. We understand people like Bill Gates have been buying up farmland here in the United States for years. In fact, I believe that Bill Gates is still the largest farmland owner in the United States. Well, farmland here, the price for farmland is surging 18% year over year. Do you think that's by accident too? Really? We have prices skyrocketing. Inflation is out of control. Oh, that's another thing I want to touch on real quick. So this morning, again, more talk about price controls. And then you got Bidenstein. I think that name fits perfectly. President Bidenstein, as in Frankenstein, talking about how his agenda is going to cause prices to fall. Maybe one of you can explain this to me because I'm not that smart. Can you tell me how borrowing trillions of dollars more into existence and creating reasons to do it? This is what they do. They make things up. They create fear. You understand? Let's look at every president before this guy. They create fear around a certain situation. Oh, we got to do this. We got to build this. We got to do that. To get people to say, hey, yeah, that's what we got to do because those people are bad and because we don't want this and yeah, we want this too. So what they do is they create an environment of fear. They say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And they create a reason to borrow more cash into existence. That's what they all do. And they're going to continue to do that because they can't tell you, no president will tell you, that the nature of the beast is that we must create reasons to borrow cash into existence, real or not, okay? And most of it is fake, okay? They need to continue to borrow cash into existence in greater and greater amounts just to support where we are. It's the nature of the debt-based economic model, but you're not allowed to know that. So no savior deity president is going to tell you that. You understand? They must mislead you on an epic scale and lie to you. And they also can't tell you that they're not the real government either. All right, people, look, lots of stuff here this morning. Very important video. What do you think about the stuff I covered here? Banker bonuses skyrocketing, household debt surging, skyrocketing, personal debt. I told you this was going to happen with no end in sight. It's out of control. We're in an out of control environment, and that's just the way it's going to go. You know that. Why? Because I've been telling you this since when? Time immemorial. I don't know why I like saying that. Greg Mannarino is an interesting guy. And there you go again, talking about myself in the third person. I'll see all of you later.